The three final prophecies of Padre Pio continue to resonate as a profound mystery that shocks and intrigues Christians around the world. His final words, spoken shortly before his death, carry such intense spiritual weight that they remain a subject of reflection and debate to this day. What he saw in his last vision was so impactful that it led him into a deep silence, something rare for a man known for his divine connection and extraordinary gifts. His tears, shed 3 months before his passing, were not the result of the physical pain of his stigmata, but rather of a revelation so overwhelming that it transcends human understanding. Padre Pio, one of the most venerated saints in the Catholic Church, was known for his ability to read souls, foresee future events, and, according to reports, even be in 2 places at once. His stigmata, which he bore for 5 decades, were a living testimony to his deep union with the suffering of Christ. His life was marked by miracles, visions, and unwavering devotion, making him a central figure for many faithful seeking spiritual guidance. Hours before his death, Padre Pio shared 3 distinct revelations with 3 trusted individuals: a priest, a doctor, and a spiritual daughter. These 3 individuals, united by their loyalty and respect for the holy man, kept these secrets for years, fearing the magnitude of what they had heard. Now, decades later, these prophecies are beginning to take on an even deeper meaning as global events seem to echo his words. The first prophecy concerns a great crisis in the Church, a period of turbulence and division that would test the faith of the faithful. The second speaks of drastic changes in the world, with natural and social events that would shake the structures of society. The third, and perhaps the most unsettling, is a vision of hope and redemption, but one that would only come after a period of great suffering and purification. For many, these predictions are not mere speculations, but a divine warning delivered by a man who dedicated his life to serving God and humanity. Padre Pio was not just a mystic, he was a messenger, whose words continue to resonate as a call to reflection, prayer, and preparation for the times to come. As the world faces unprecedented crises, Padre Pio's prophecies take on new significance, awakening the curiosity and faith of those seeking to understand divine plans. His tears, his silence, and his final words are a legacy that challenges humanity to look beyond the visible and seek truth amidst chaos. Let us return to the year 1968 in San Giovanni Rotondo, Italy, where the venerable Padre Pio was living his final days. After half a century bearing the stigmata of Christ, marks that bled on his hands, feet, and side, something extraordinary began to happen. The wounds that so deeply connected him to the suffering of Jesus began to heal, a clear sign that his mission on earth was coming to an end. It was during this time that he shared 3 profound prophecies, each carrying spiritual weight and a warning for the future of humanity. The first prophecy was revealed to the Vatican expert and exorcist, Father Gabriel Amorth. Padre Pio spoke of a time when churches would be full but not out of genuine faith. Many would attend not to seek God, but to hide while planning wars and conflicts. He described a shocking contradiction: golden crosses gleaming on altars, while the hearts of the faithful were plunged into darkness. The sign of this prophecy, according to Padre Pio, would be the growing doubt about the real presence of Christ in the Eucharist. Today, as we observe studies showing an alarming decline in belief in transubstantiation, we can see that this prophecy may be unfolding before our eyes. The second prophecy was confided to a trusted doctor. Padre Pio predicted a period of darkness, lasting 3 days, but this was not merely a physical phenomenon. It was a spiritual darkness, a time when people would seek refuge in their homes, but find no real peace. He advised the faithful to keep candles and holy water, as these would be the only means of light and protection during those terrible days. Anyone who dared to open their windows to observe what was happening outside would expose themselves to irreversible danger. The sign of this prophecy, he said, would be a year marked by unusual natural disasters, followed by a winter in which unexpected flowers would bloom. When we look at the extreme weather events and strange environmental changes occurring today, it is hard not to associate these predictions with our current reality. The third and most feared prophecy was shared with his spiritual daughter, Lucia Montana. Padre Pio called this vision the Great Warning. He predicted a time when science would claim to have all the answers, but would ignore the most crucial question, the meaning of life and salvation. While humanity celebrated technological advances promising eternal life, millions of souls would be lost. The sign of this prophecy would be the emergence of men creating life without female participation and robots indistinguishable from humans. Today, with advances in genetic editing, artificial wombs, and increasingly sophisticated artificial intelligence, these words take on a disturbing significance. Padre Pio's prophecies are not just dark predictions. They also carry a call to reflection and conversion. He warned of the dangers of superficial faith, human arrogance, and disconnection from the divine. As the world moves toward an uncertain future, his words serve as a reminder that behind all the technology and progress, there is an urgent need to reconnect with the sacred. Padre Pio was not just a mystic, he was a prophet who saw beyond the visible. His prophecies continue to resonate as a warning to humanity, inviting us to look within ourselves and seek light amidst the darkness. In an increasingly chaotic world, his words are a beacon of hope and a call to spiritual preparation. Padre Pio, in addition to revealing prophecies describing times of trial and challenge, also left us clear guidance on how to prepare spiritually to face these moments. He did not want his words to generate fear or despair, but to serve as a call to action, faith, and love. His recommendations are a precious guide for those who wish to remain steadfast amid the turbulence that may arise. First, Padre Pio emphasized the importance of the sacraments, especially confession and the Eucharist. For him, these sacraments are sources of grace that strengthen the soul and enable us to face difficulties with courage and serenity. Confession, in particular, frees us from the weight of sin and reconciles us with God, while the Eucharist spiritually nourishes us, uniting us more deeply with Christ. He saw these sacraments as essential pillars for an authentic life of faith. Second, he recommended the daily practice of the Rosary, a powerful prayer he called a spiritual weapon. For Padre Pio, the Rosary was not just a devotion, but a tool, capable of illuminating even the densest darkness. Through this prayer, the faithful can find peace, protection, and guidance, especially in times of uncertainty. He believed that by meditating on the mysteries of the lives of Christ and Mary, hearts would open to divine grace. Third, Padre Pio advised devotion to the Sacred Heart of Jesus and the Immaculate Heart of Mary. He saw these two hearts as safe refuges, capable of guiding and protecting the faithful amid life's storms. Just as the pillar of fire guided the people of Israel through the desert, these sacred hearts would be beacons of light and hope for those seeking their intercession. Additionally, he recommended keeping holy water, blessed candles, and a crucifix at home. These objects should not be seen as amulets or superstitions, but as instruments of faith that remind us of God's presence and power in our lives. Holy water, for example, is a sacramental that purifies and protects us from evil influences, while the crucifix reminds us of Christ's sacrifice and the infinite love he has for us. However, Padre Pio always warned that our actions should not be motivated by fear but by love. He frequently quoted the biblical passage, "Perfect love casts out fear," 1 John 4:18. For him, the purpose of the prophecies was not to cause terror, but to awaken hearts to divine mercy and justice. He foresaw a future marked by trials, but also by a great mass conversion, where truth and God's grace would triumph over darkness. Today, as we observe the news and the rapid advancement of technology, it is hard not to notice the unsettling similarities between Padre Pio's predictions and the reality we live in. However, his messages also bring profound hope. He predicted that after periods of darkness, the light of Christ would shine even more brightly, revealing God's omnipotence and mercy. For this reason, Padre Pio invites us to pray actively, to remain vigilant, and to share the message of hope with those who are confused or distant from the faith. He encourages us to seek the sacraments frequently, to pray the Rosary as a family, and to keep the flame of faith alive through devotional practices. Above all, he reminds us that the prophecies are not a decree of condemnation, but a call to action filled with love and trust in God. Padre Pio left us a legacy of devotion, service, and hope. He taught us that even in the darkest scenarios, divine power prevails. Therefore, there is no reason for despair. With courage, faith, and hope, we can face challenges with our heads held high, knowing that the light of Christ will shine brightly in the midst of darkness. The prophecy is not just an announcement of catastrophe, but also of renewal and the triumph of good. May we follow his example and trust fully in God's mercy. Thank you for watching this video. Leave your like and subscribe to the Living Hope channel on YouTube. Activate notifications by clicking on the bell to receive other publications.